me know for questions.
2 games in a row, your lineup, well, more than 2 games in a row, your lineup has just gotten it done every way, every spot in the lineup. What's key to what's making it work for you guys right now?
Putting it bats together. First 3 guys getting on base a lot. That helps. With RJ and Diaz, and that's me getting on base a lot today, which really set up some innings. But it was, we had the big hit, early in that first, Reggie's home run, and then certainly SB's. But then after that, it was just pretty good at bats throughout. We broke down a few times too, but at the same time, I think we did enough inside of the lineup to capitalize on run-scoring situations.
Is it a challenge to fill out a lineup card sometime now? I mean, in a good way. You have so many options, so many people who can do this and that, so many places to put guys in the field. I mean, is that process a little more involved than it has been for you in past years?
We have options, but at the same time, we're kind of work in progress. I guess when you're looking at your own kids, you see the deficiencies and you see the areas of continued growth. But I think when you look at them as a whole, there's probably a lot of equals, in terms of skill sets and people that could be out there that aren't. So yeah, that part's a good thing, but they'll get their chance. They just got to be patient. They got to keep working.
What was that, your conference with the umpires after that play in the plate at the 8th inning? What was that about?
It was just we contended the block at the plate, but with the infield in, the catcher can get out in front of the plate and block it. So it was the correct call.
You had to be pleased with Bryce's start today, I presume.
Sure was. I mean, that's good. Take us in 6 innings and to our bullpen. It was really good. That's a good hitting team, and they're tough to sit down. I thought he did a really nice job throwing strikes, and first inning we made some mistakes that ended up costing us, but he got beyond that, and we answered quick. But yeah, he did a nice job.
How good was it to see Kojal get back and then have that hard hit double there?
Yep, good. Just I think for he and Barzy and Holcomb, it's just a matter of just getting ABs. But certainly Cam, he's been in that position before, and he came up with guys in scoring position each time prior to that. So that was good for him to get that hit and drive a couple of runs in.
Back to Bryce, what's been different with him? Because that's 3 starts in a row. I know before last year he was a guy that had trouble stringing multiple innings together like that and throwing strikes. And today, tight zone, and he was able to pitch pretty well in spite of that. What's different about him as opposed to maybe a year or 2 ago?
Preparation. I just think overall preparation. I remember having this conversation with Arya, but he's a kid who loves to pitch. I mean, he pitches in the summer, he pitches in the fall, he pitches in the spring. He's kind of a throwback kid because you don't get a lot of guys in today's world that in the amateur system that do that. But I like what he did with his body. He's got a mature approach. If you ask Brownie about him, he would tell you he's very professional in everything that he does. He's got a purpose. He knows his purpose, and he's put himself in good position to get on the mound and compete.
How have you determined, you brought in Cyber and Genther with pretty big leads in terms of, how you utilize your bullpen there? You say big leads, but I don't think any lead is big in this conference. You have to be able to close games. And all you need to do is look at the Friday night scores. They're so distorted sometimes, and teams get into the 7th, 8th, and 9th inning with a 6 and 7 run cushion. It's not a cushion. It's just you got to keep playing, and if you don't play, then innings can build up. And it could have happened today too. You think about those double plays; those were inning ending, and those were big momentum spots for us. And we played some pretty good defense, for sure, to keep them off base. But I don't think any lead is safe in this conference.
Why are we getting the pinball scores again? The ball's livelier, the bats specs livelier. What's the deal?
I think hitters have done a pretty good job of taking that next progression versus the pitchers with the high spin and fastballs. I think they're preparing well. I think there's older hitters certainly in this league. some. We don't have a ton, but I just think that, you look at that group across the street, and I look at the first baseman, I look at Irish, I look at Pierce, and I look at guys who have a lot of at-bats under their belt, and they can do damage at any point in time. So I do think age has a lot to do with it, Chris.
Yeah, how pleased have you been with how your freshman pitchers have performed against an older lineup like that?
Good. It was good, to get him out there. Greeny probably threw too many pitches today. Probably could have made it a little bit easier on himself if he just got the ball to the zone. But he's done a nice job. He's very competitive. Kranzler, same way. And Cyber and even McIlvain. McIlvain get his chance, going to be ready tomorrow. But yeah, pretty good for the most part. They're still learning. I like the potential of what it could potentially look like at the end of the year as they grow, because they're going to get a lot of those situations.
2 big milestone win situations for you in the last couple of weeks. 1,000 overall, 900 here today. Reflect on what that means.
Chris, you've been here as long as I have. I just think Maggie and I are very grateful that we're in Nashville for an extended period of time. In the coaching business, it's not a certain business, and especially in a league that demands quality, gives a lot of resources. So I think there's not a day that I take for granted. My wife doesn't either. I know the position's rented and can be taken from you at any time. So I just have always wanted to be the best extension of the university system, and that means education, standards, the values of the program. What has come with it is great, but it really, as we've gotten older, we understand there's a whole lot more to it. You're growing kids, and you're standing next to them. And, the thing is, I say this with a lot of respect, too, is these kids they're like almost like adult toys. They're so fun to be with and just hang with and just do things with. And, beyond the teaching and coaching part of it, there's a lot of cool relationships that you can grow with them. So we're just fortunate for that.
Thank you.
Yeah, thanks, guys.